we can continue. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for joining us and giving your precious time and making yourself available in spite of not feeling very well. You were went to the hospital and was nebulized, but we really appreciate. Prabhuji, at any time, if you feel that you can't talk or read, then please let us know. We will do it. And please accept our Danvat Pranams from everybody in the group who have joined and are about to join and who will listen to this session online. Prabhuji, we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 2, Chapter 7, and the text for today is text 6. So over to you, Prabhuji. Kindly tell us if you...
Thank you. Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, 7th chapter, schedule, incarnations, verse number 6. Dharma Shadaksha Duhitarya Janitstamurtiyam Narayano Nara Iti Swatapa Prabhava Drishtvatatmano Bhagvano Niyamano Vapam Divyastu Ananga Pritana Gatitum Nazraseku. Translation. To exhibit his personal way of austerity and penance, he appeared in twin forms as Narayan and Nara in the womb of Murti, the wife of Dharma, and the daughter of Daksha. Celestial beauties, the companions of Cupid, tried to break his vows, but they were unsuccessful, for they saw that many beauties like them were emanating from him, the personality of Godhead. Mataji, handing over to you, we can read the purport.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The Lord, being the source of everything that be, is the origin of all austerities and penances also. Great vows of austerities are undertaken by sages to achieve success in self-realization. Human life is meant for such tapasya with the great vow of celibacy or brahmachari. In the rigid life of tapasya, there is no place for association of women. And because human life is meant for tapasya, for self-realization, factual human civilization, as conceived by the system of Sanatan Dharma, or the school of 4 castes and 4 orders of life, prescribes rigid dissociation from women in 3 stages of life. In the order of gradual cultural development, one's life may be divided into 4 divisions: celibacy, household life, retirement, and renunciation. During the first stage of life, up to 25 years of age, a man may be trained as a brahmachari under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, just to understand that women is the real binding force in the material existence. If one wants to get freedom from the material bondage of conditioned life, he must get free from the attraction for the form of a woman. Women or fair sex is the enchanting principle of the living entities, and the male form, especially in the human being, is meant for self-realization. The whole world is moving under the spell of womanly attraction, and as soon as the man becomes united with a woman, he at once becomes a victim of material bondage under a tight knot. The desires for lording it over the material world under the intoxication of false sense of lordship specifically begins just after a man's unification with a woman. The desires for acquiring a house, possessing land, having children, and becoming prominent in society, the affection for community and the place of birth, and the hankering for wealth, which are all like phantasmagoria or illusionary dreams, encumber a human being, and he is thus impeded in progress towards self-realization, the real aim of life. The brahmachari, or a boy from the age of 5 years, especially from the higher caste, namely from the scholarly parents, the brahmanas, the administrative parents, the kshatriyas, or the mercantile or the productive parents, the vaishyas, is trained until 25 years of age under the care of a bona fide guru or teacher, and under strict observance of discipline, he comes to understand the values of life, along with taking specific training for a livelihood. The brahmachari is then allowed to go home and enter household life and get married to a suitable woman. But there are many brahmacharis who do not go home to become householders, but continue their life of naishtika brahmacharis without any connection with women. They accept the order of sannyas or the renounced order of life, knowing well that the combination with women is an unnecessary burden that checks self-realization. Since sex desire is very strong at a certain stage of life, the guru may allow the brahmachari to marry. This license is given to the brahmachari who is unable to continue the way of naishtiki brahmachari, and such discriminations are possible for the bona fide guru. A program of so-called family planning is needed. The householder who associates with women under scriptural restrictions after a thorough training of brahmacharya cannot be a householder like cats and dogs. Such a householder, after 50 years of age, would retire from the association of women as vanaprastha to be trained to live alone without the association of women. When the practice is complete, the same retired householder becomes a sannyasi, strictly separate from women, even from his married wife. Studying the whole scheme of dissociation from women, it appears that a woman is a stumbling block for self-realization, and the Lord appears as Narayan to teach the principle of womanly dissociation with a vow in life. The demigods, being envious of austere life, or the right brahmacharis, would try to cause them to break their vows by dispatching soldiers of Cupid. But in the case of the Lord, it became an unsuccessful attempt when the celestial beauties saw that the Lord can produce innumerable such beauties by his mystic internal potency, and that there was consequently no need to be attracted by others externally. There is a common proverb that a confectioner is never attracted by the sweetmeats. The confectioner who is always manufacturing sweetmeats have very little desire to eat them. Similarly, the Lord, by his pleasure potential powers, can produce innumerable spiritual beauties and not be the least attracted by the false beauties of material creation. One who does not know alleges foolishly that Lord Krishna enjoyed the women in the Ras Leela in Vrindavan or with his 16,000 married wives at Dwarka. Hare Krishna, over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So, this chapter speaks about different incarnations. And Lord once appeared, if you go to the Bhagavatam, the very first canto, there's a list of incarnations. And if you go to the third chapter, the fourth incarnation is Nar Narayan. I'll just read a little from them so that you get some idea. The fourth incarnation, the Lord became Nar and Narayan, the twin sons of the wife of King Dharma. Thus he undertook severe and exemplary penances to control the senses. So here Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that, Sri Prabhupada is explaining that in each incarnation is a purpose. And the purpose of Nar Narayan Rishi is to observe strict tapa. So if you read today's purport, it's all centered around one item. Is that if you are performing tapa or tapasya, there is no place for the association of women. The women doesn't mean that we are against women. Women literally means to have no illicit connection with them. The Varnashram system is designed in such a way that in the 4 stages of the spiritual orders, brahmachari refrains from women, vanaprastha refrains from women, sannyasi refrains from women. It's only in the grahastha life that even a limited association is allowed, not more. So if you go to the purport, Prabhupada says that origin of everything is Krishna. Remember that. The beauties also come from Krishna. And the Lord appeared as Nar Narayan. At that time, I'll just tell you briefly what happened. That they were performing serious treaties in the Himalayas. And Indra, he sent some apsaras, some beautiful ladies to distract them. But Narayan is also considered to be Arjuna and Krishna, remember that. They had appeared earlier. So Narayan, he created from his body very beautiful women. And these women of Indra had no class. Just like beauties of this earth are nothing compared to the beauties of Indraloka. And the beauties of Indraloka are nothing compared to the beauties of the Vaikuntha. So there is always better and better. But when these ladies, when they saw beautiful women created by Narayan or from Narayan, they became ashamed and they went away. And they were defeated. In other words, Indra did get defeated. The meaning behind this incident is to teach to us that if you are taken the path of tapa, if you remember, as you go to 5th canto, there is the teachings of Lord Rishabh, very, very powerful teachings. And the very opening verse in Lord Rishabh's teaching is Nayam Deha Deho Bhajam Nirloke. In that verse, he says the human life is meant for tapa and not meant for misusing it like pleasures, which are even available to stool-eating hogs. So tapa. Now for tapa, sense control is a must. Otherwise, there's no question of tapa. Mr. Prabhupada gives a very simple example that if you put an iron rod in the fire, then it takes some time, then it acts like fire. The rod itself becomes like fire. And it is as good as fire. Because wherever you touch, it's going to burn. So in tapasya, you have to stay with the fire. And if you want to stay with the fire, it means give up all that is detrimental in your path of self-realization or path of tapasya. And the biggest hindrance can be association of women. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam says that women have been created in such a way that they can allure a man very easily. And Bhagavatam, so many examples are given how men become allured and then they fail in their self-realization. And how many stories are there also in the Puranas. And why this thing is repeatedly told us. Because the very form of women is attractive. In English, they call women a fair sex. Woman, whatever, even if she's an old one, she'll still look more fairer than the man. It's natural. So why so much restriction is so that we keep on with our path of self-realization. Now, some men may think, oh, what is wrong? I can enjoy, at the same time trying to get the goal. No, you won't get the desired goal. There are certain things which will remain undiscovered as far as inner truths are written of Srimad Bhagavatam or about Krishna, not possible to understand. For example, like when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading as under the direction of Sri Prabhupada, we go systematically. First canto, second. Even before that, we go to Bhagavad Gita. Then we go to Bhagavatam. Now you'll find the 10th canto about Rasa Leela, how Krishna's getting married to so many queens in Dwarka. All these are written in the 10th canto. Why not in the first canto? The reason is, by 9th canto, you would have enough experience or enough realization of how even Krishna did not or abstain from so-called association with women. Many people blame Krishna that he enjoyed women during the Rasa dance. If you read the 10th canto of the Krishna book, Sri Prabhupada clearly says that this Rasa dance took place when Krishna was only 8 years old. A boy of 8 years old is very innocent, very innocent. And you'll never hear of any incident of any illicit affair with any gopi, not even one. But he had all the affairs when he got married in Dwarka. Each woman had 10 children, 10 boys. So you see a big difference. There's a self-control in one side, no self-control, control, but what is allowed in the scriptures, he followed. He never jumped the Vedic conclusion or the Vedic institution. He followed it. So if even us, those who have taken the path of Krishna consciousness, we have to be very careful that you do not jump the rules and regulations. Even in our society, you'll find that only those who have jumped the rules and regulations are the people who broke away. Or the second category of devotees who gave up ISKCON are those who refuse to hear Krishna conscious books. I have first an experience of some devotees who would never attend a class, who will never read Bhagavad Gita, would never attend Bhagavad. It's like they're not interested. And these are the people who deviated and went away to some other institutions. Or they put their legs in two institutions. They want to stay in ISKCON, they also want to stay in that one. And such kind of duplicitous understanding is not allowed, not acceptable. So, in 3 stages, as I said earlier, that we have to restrict from women. In ISKCON, one of the rules is every woman is called Mataji. You don't say Bahan. Bahan means sister. No. Prabhupada said the actual rule is Mataji. You see every woman to be your mother, and that is wisdom. Many times I've given this verse of Chanakya Pandit. It says a learned person is the one who sees other women other than his wife to be mothers, number one. He sees the wealth of others to be nothing but garbage. And He can understand pains and pleasures of others. He's a learned person. So if you want to, if you cannot just do tapa and remain a fool, you have to do tapasya. And even a slight deviation towards enjoying woman can create a havoc in your spiritual life, as it did in the case of Vishwamitra. Imagine he performed tapa for 50,000 years. Multiply 50,000 times 365 days. How many days is that? Of course, that was Satya, and the life was quite long. But all that went useless just because of little attraction towards anything womanly. Now, that is Vishwamitra. In the case of Shobari Muni, he could perform yoga under the water, and he did it under River Yamuna for 10,000 years. And just one thought of feminine association, he ruined his tapa, and he came out of the water. Later on, he did lament why he made a mistake. Of course, Shobari Muni's story is quite a long story, because he had already committed an offense for which he had to suffer. So even in our case, we find that during our Krishna consciousness, the Krishna consciousness is so pure that so-called mundane illicit sex has no room anywhere, even close to it. So that is why it is advisable that we repeatedly hear Krishna Katha, repeatedly, not once, repeatedly. Now, Krishna Katha, many people may think is only 10th canto. No. The entire Bhagavatam is Krishna Katha. Entire Bhagavad Gita is Krishna Katha. If you read regularly, repeatedly, you'd find that this thing will gradually go away. None of us can claim that I'm free from it. No, none of us can say like that. But as you practice and practice, you become so stronger that these things seem to be insignificant. There is no value. Just like you're traveling in a plane, and in a plane, these days they show you a movie, isn't it? And the screen is right in front of you. You don't want to see, but sometimes the movie scene is like that, alluring. But the moment your eyes set on that scene, the first thought will come in your mind, oh, it's just trying to allure me far away from Krishna. So what will happen? Though your eyes are open, though you may be saying, but you are not interested, it will not affect you. So day to day, we realize these things, day to day. Now for that, you don't have to study the nature of a man or a woman. Already the research has been done by the sages or by Vyasdev himself. He has done so much research because he's entire incarnation of Krishna. He's written so many things. And if you read, all this is a part of Krishna consciousness. Yes, there is a need of association with women because you need children. And don't forget, children are not born from a man, they're born from a woman. So it's not that woman doesn't deserve any place. No, women do deserve a place, but that place is a very respectable place. It's only in the Vedic culture, women are given a very high respect for those who follow Vedic culture. I can give you my example. I come from a community who are known as Rajputs, and even our traditions are still the same. If you go to a village in India, the moment you enter the house, then the first people who come to greet you are all women, from small girls to big women. And your duty, first duty, is to touch the feet of every woman, one by one by one. The rule still stays the same. And then you meet the man. They also greet you. You also teach feet of those who are elder than you. And then in any ceremonies like marriage, you find that you again touch the feet of this woman. So much respect is there. So there is no question of thinking in an illicit sex or illicit way with any woman. Such is our culture, our Krishna conscious culture. So as you read Srimad Bhagavatam, this culture has been explained very scientifically, very nicely, that everything goes on systematically and your spiritual life is not hindered. I was just watching a small clip which my elder daughter was, my granddaughter was watching. She loves to see these Krishna movies, and she was showing, look, Baba, look, Dada, this fruit seller is here, how she's trying to sell fruits. And see the innocence of Krishna, how he gets fruits from her, and shows so much love to her. Now, if you see the whole movie, the whole part of it, so much respect, even from a fruit seller, for a fruit seller. And how much love does a fruit seller have for Krishna? This is natural, but there is no question if you study this of any illicit thinking. No, not like today. Today, if you study the modern culture, the whole aim is how to exploit each other. I've seen women, I've seen girls, I've seen boys. They do weird things simply to attract the opposite sex. And you are all, you all know about it. And sometimes you find someone with a new hairstyle. Oh, I have to meet someone. I said, are you getting a new job? He said, no. I'm meeting someone. So, of course, he wouldn't say everything. And same with the girls. Then I've seen the cases in which the girls have been allured to their association. And there have been severe consequences. But it's like very normal to them. So it is okay. But in Krishna consciousness, this is not allowed. So Sri Prabhupada actually says, no free mixing of man and women. What is the reason? This is the reason. To protect your Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, you will not value your Krishna consciousness. You take it like a cheap Krishna consciousness, more or less on the platform of Sahitya, not on a Vaishnava understanding. No. Sahityas don't care, but devotees do care. So in our Krishna consciousness, everyone is respected. So as the purport goes down, Sri Prabhupada makes a point, the whole world is moving behind this attraction for women. Rather, it's like under the spell of a womanly attraction. They just want to please women, men, and women want to please men. And the whole world is going on like that. So, was the world created for that? No. It was created for one reason, so that the world can be filled with nice beings or nice human beings who are godly, not with beings who don't obey any scriptures or rules and regulations. That means the civilization had to go further, not to stay there or become polluted. In one lecture, Sri Prabhupada says, these days to make a business deal, they generally meet each other in a restaurant. And in the restaurant, they'll eat nicely. After that, a woman is offered, they'll enjoy, and the deal is signed. See how each one is used. Everyone gets used. But Bhagavatam says no. A slight glimpse of a woman or attraction towards women or association with women, the whole problem begins once the union takes place. So Bhagavatam says, Ata Agriya Kshetra. In that verse, it says, once you marry, once you're union, it means you're to be a responsible husband. To be a responsible husband, you need a house, you need money, you need income. And then to raise your children is a big responsibility. Otherwise, don't do it. Stay away. But it is so attractive that once a man falls into this, it's very difficult to come out. But yet there is a chance to come out. Sri Prabhupada says that, yes, you have children, you have family, but don't forget the goal of your life. The goal of your life is to make your children, your family, and everyone else in the world Krishna conscious. That we forget. So we should not stay in that illusion. Furthermore, it says that Prahlad Maharaj says, from the young age, Krishna consciousness be introduced to your children. Komara Pragret Achit Dharma Bhagavatam Iha Dullabam Atma Dullabhan Manushya Janma. This Manushya Janma or the human life is very rare. Do not misuse it. From the age of 5, Komara means from the age of 5, teach your children Krishna consciousness. And if you don't, you regret. The parents will regret. And later on, even the child will regret. The child will say, why did my parents teach me these nice things? To earn money, to earn a big name is not a big thing. And even if you have money, even if you have a big name, it's not going to come with you. Is Chapala Sukha. Chapala Sukha means a temporary happiness, which will be taken away before death. As the death comes, it's gone. And even if you have beauty, it's only for one body. It will go. So these truths are written in our Vaishnava songs, the writings of the Vaishnavas, teachers. And these all come from these original words. Komara, Pragret, Achara, Dharma, Bhagavatam, Iha. Teach Bhagavad Dharma. What is Bhagavad Dharma? Bhagavad Dharma means religion or religious principles taught as per Srimad Bhagavatam, written by Vyasdev. Now this is the Bhagavatam. What are the Bhagavatam is saying? You follow it. That is called Bhagavad Dharma. And what is Bhagavad Dharma? That there is one supreme absolute, or one absolute supreme personality God, that is Krishna. And that everything emanates from him. And he is our protector, he is the enjoyer, and he is our well-wisher. If you understand these few things, then your, spiritual life will be healthy. That's why in our Vedic culture, many boys would remain Naishtik Brahmachari. Naishtik means not to marry at all. Now, the most excellent example in our recent history is the spiritual master of His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. He's a Naishtik Brahmachari from birth. He never married. And he's also called a lion guru, very, very powerful guru. And even if he wanted, if his sister wanted to talk to him, he'll tell his sister, come with your mother. I can't talk to you. This is how strict he was. So Brahmachari rules are very strong. But here Sri Prabhupada gives a rule. In case they cannot maintain their ashram, they are allowed to marry. But only have connection with one woman and have desired number of children, and that's it. In the life of Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj, when his mother told him that you should get married, then the first question he asked his mother was, what guarantee do you give me that if I married, each of my child will be conscious? The mother had no reply. Then he said, that's why I don't want to get married. Or get me a woman who gives me a guarantee so I can have 100 boys or children who are Krishna conscious. This is Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj. So, there is a natural family program, family planning done if you follow the Vedic culture. That you have desired number of children, each one is nicely responsible. If you see the purport, Sri Prabhupada uses the word scholarly parents, scholarly administrative parents, mercantile parents, and so on. That means responsible living. What is the biggest difference between the Vedic culture and the new culture is that in Vedic culture, each man or each woman was a responsible person. Each one of them. Not like today. Today, like, I don't care. They can give you a straight answer, I don't care. And you'll be defeated. What can you explain to him? You can't slap that person. You cannot punish that person. You can't argue with that person. Nothing. Just say, it's my life. Let me do what I want to do. And that's it. In the original culture, when you try to explain something to someone, they will listen. That is the big difference. That's why the original Vedic culture, there was respect for everyone. Everyone was respected. In the today's culture, the whole respect is towards your status, especially as far as money is concerned. If you have money, people will respect you. No money, nobody's going to respect you. Your education, your knowledge, your wisdom has no value. This is Kali Yuga. However, Srila Prabhupada has worked very hard to bring about Krishna consciousness, bring about the same culture again. If we cannot have the Varnashram system, then at least we have a Krishna conscious culture. Because already the Varnashram system has been disentangled, all broken. But Krishna consciousness gives a hope. And we have to try to practice Krishna consciousness. Now here, one very fine analogy Prabhupada gives. A confectioner is never attracted by sweet meats. Remember this, you should write it down or underline it in your book. The one who makes sweets is not interested in sweets because he sees sweets everywhere. Like in our shop, our Shiva Prabhu is not interested in sweets because he sees sweets being made daily. So to Krishna, he's not interested in women because women are created by Krishna, men are created by Krishna. But same men, women are attracted to Krishna. I mean, will be attracted to Krishna if they obey Krishna. And obeying Krishna means to become Krishna conscious. So this is one of the most powerful lines, examples Sri Prabhupada uses, that to him, if you bring thousands of beautiful women in front of Krishna or in front of Narayan Rishi, he's not interested. He can create even better than that. And you can read about them later on in the Bhagavatam, how beautiful women were sent, and they became ashamed by seeing more beautiful women created by the Lord himself. So you should not try to fool around with Krishna's energies and Krishna's powers. Because Krishna is always better than us in everything. We are nothing. And here it says, one to cover up the whole class, spiritual beauties are more greater than the false beauties of the material creation. Imagine if you hear the story of Shamanan Pandit, I don't know if you heard, if you heard. Just last week, we celebrated his appearance day. Shamanan Pandit, originally known as Dukhi, because all his children, all the children which were born before him were dying. So the mother named him Dukhi. But later on, he became a devotee of Krishna. And the devotees changed his name from Dukhi to Sukhi. He said, you're not Dukhi, you have Krishna, so you're Sukhi. And that same person under Jiva Goswami, we won't go into all the details. He was given the service of cleaning the groves where Krishna still dances. Nikunja means a place where Krishna dances with gopis even now. And Jiva Goswami knew the place, not far from their ashram. So every day he would clean up everything. So one day he found an ankle band, and simply by When he lifted the ankle bell, he realized this must be belonging to Radharani. So the desire was to see Radharani. So he buried it. So after a few minutes, an elderly woman came. He says, when you were cleaning, did you see a beautiful ankle bell? He says, yes, I have seen, but certainly it's not yours. She says, oh, it belongs to my daughter-in-law. He says that I'll give it to her, but not to you. Then this old woman showed her original form. But it was not Radharani, it was Vishakha. And Vishakha was so beautiful that Shamaran Pandit became unconscious. And later on, he was blessed to see Radharani. So these are the spiritual beauties. Once you see those beauties, you forget the material beauties of the world. And that is what Sri Prabhupada wanted us to do. Why do we take darshan daily of Radha and Krishna? Because they are the most beautiful couple in the entire creation. If you appreciate their beauty, you'll not be alluded by the beauties of the material world. They are nothing. That's why those who have difficulties, they should take darshan many, many times. That is the meaning of this point. So the end, Sri Prabhupada says that people still blame Krishna of enjoying women in Rasa dance, or with the 16,100 wives in Dwarka. In either case, they were rules and regulations which were never broken by Krishna. Hare Krishna. The time is up. Any questions? Anything you'd like to add?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for today's session. Prabhuji, this is talking of men's attraction to women. Does it also, is it the same for women's attraction for men? Because that is not mentioned. So we just assume that it is for both, or is it only for men?
No, it is either way. But generally, woman's attraction is a cause of a man's fall down. In the histories or in the Bhagavad or in the Vedas, many, many examples are given. It's because they fell for a woman. You'll not find a woman. Well, very few women fall down from their path by being attracted to men, but they are also. So in either case, man is very attracted to women, and women are very attracted to man. Yeah, I don't know if you know the story of Raja Bhartri. Have you heard in your childhood? Raja Bhartri. Anybody has heard the story? In short, I'll give you the story. It's a very famous story, and he happens to be the brother of King Vikram Datya. Imagine, very powerful king. And it's a true story. Now, he used to love his wife so much that he bought for her on her birthday a very expensive necklace. And the woman, which the king didn't know, had some affair with a horse keeper, the people who look after horses. So he gave that chain to the horse keeper. And the horse keeper gave it to his wife. And the wife was very pleased. But the wife was very honest. It's such a beautiful necklace. I should give it to the king. Not knowing that it belongs to the king. And when she brought it to the king was shocked. Where did you get it? And they tried to trace how it went or how it changed hands. And at last he realized that his own queen was having an affair with. And the effect was so much on his heart that he left his kingdom to become a renunciate. He says, I am nothing but a dancing doll in the hands of this woman. And when this was put into a drama in the 1950s and 60s in Gujarat, in India, many men deserted their wives to become sadhus. It's a fact. Till they had to ban it, stop it. The effect was so strong. So if you hear this story, Raja Bhartri, we find that the woman being allured for a man. Because that's what you asked. That's what that story I remember.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Yeah. So it's usually the men who fall down, and the women usually don't. But there are examples of that as well. So thank you for that clarification.
Fall down.
Any other questions or comments from the group? There are no questions or comments. Can I request Parth Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhuji? Is it possible for you to end this session today? Prabhuji is not feeling very well, so we can end it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, if there is a like that, God created this one because for the God's instruction, He instructed Manu and Satarupa, you supposed to be do this one, man and female, so that you can procrastination, you can increase the population.
They can populate the world, yeah.
Yes. Then why there is restriction?
Why there restriction? The restriction is that it is meant for that purpose, not anything else. For example, you read Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, verse number 11, it says, the strength of a powerful man is to protect the weaker. And sex life is to produce Krishna conscious children. Now, if you ask this question to people, how many of the people obey this rule? Very few people. But that is the original rule. Not just in our Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Even books like Bible speak the same thing. I was shocked when I read it. The purpose of associating with women is to produce God-conscious children, not otherwise. Not for pleasure. There's so many lectures Sri Prabhupada gives. He says, even if you are married, you can have pleasure with your wife once in a month, not daily. And once you desire number of children, then become brahmacharis again. So that you can, the aim of life to become Krishna consciousness is not forgotten. But before, after getting children, they get so much lost into it that they forget aim of life. Even in our ISKCON, we find so many examples, people getting married, and after marriage they deviate. They even give up ISKCON and go away. Only a few remain. I've seen it myself. I mean, you know better. How many couples are there? Very few. So it's not why Satrupa and Manu was told, yes, to populate the world, the aim is still the same, to produce God-conscious children, but not for any other purpose. Of course, the next responsibility is to raise your children in a Krishna conscious way. Imagine you are fooling around with your wife in front of your children. What impression will they get when they grow up? They may not say anything, but one day they'll speak out. So even if you have any relation with your wife, don't do it in front of your children. There's a saying, the children are our own gurus. You can learn so much from them. So be very careful. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your nice and wonderful class. Also, thank you very much, everyone who assembling here. I request everyone, please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of His grace. Rukma Prabhuji, please join. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa
Hare
Tanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grace Rukma Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.